The Let's Be Budz show is for adults 21 plus only. Content is for education and entertainment. We don't sell or promote cannabis. Please follow your local laws and consume responsibly. Opinions are our own. Keep all products away from children and pets.
Oh yeah. And please, no dickheads. We ask that you respect our no dickheads policy. If you are a dickhead or thinking of being a dickhead today, please be a dickhead somewhere else.
Are you ready?
Hey everybody, welcome. Must be Wednesday night. All you early birds, you know the drill. Get in there early, say hi, and we will get you into the draw for a Lost Coast Plant Therapy 32-ounce bottle and some fabulous merch, which we will draw on the first Wednesday of the month. Good to see you, Miranda. If you're feeling a little bit rough, we'll see how the show goes. Hey, can you remind everybody else how they can get into the draw for a bottle of Lost Coast Plant Therapy?
Yeah, so you can donate $5 to our GoFundMe. That's an awesome way to get in.
Oh, you're in, Miranda. Look at you.
Oh, no. No, draw again.
You want me to draw again? I can.
I'll draw again. Yeah.
All right.
Lucky.
Okay, so and now we have confirmed that even if you're tuning in from Josh's channel, you will automatically, congrats, Widespread Trellis, you'll automatically be, you don't have to go over to our channel in order to participate in this draw, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So, okay. Hey, we got a great one for you tonight. As usual, Josh will be giving us a tour of his garden in the second hour, and our herbal remedy of the week is catnip. So we'll be learning a little bit more about that. And what's up?
And we promise this time. We promise this time.
Yeah.
We keep promising, but it's just tough. Other than that, like I said, we've got a really special guest tonight. If you've seen his page, you know he has an absolutely beautiful terraced outdoor garden packed with a wide variety of cannabis plants. So there's definitely going to be plenty to talk about when it comes to growing outdoors, varieties, and Damien's approach to the gardens. So bring your questions and let's check out what's going on in Kelownadank's garden. Welcome to the show, Damien.
Right on.
We plant a piece of hope, so let's dance and sing. No more alone. Welcome home, Damien. It's your night to shine with buds and laughter. We'll dance through the vine in this love for nature. We're never alone. Together we stand. Oh, let it be known.
That was an amazing intro. Oh my God. Too
Everybody
much.
gets an amazing intro.
Too much.
Absolutely. But you gave him some great content to do that, Damien. That's just a beautiful garden you got going on there. Really excited to get into it with you.
Thank you.
Maybe to start off, I would like to. I'd like you to share like your geography. What part of the world you're coming from?
For sure. Yeah. So I'm in Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. It is southern Canada and southern British Columbia, and also Kelowna sits in the Okanagan Valley, which is a bit of its own climate compared to the rest of British Columbia and Canada. It's got a little bit of a semi-arid desert. All of our vineyards and orchards are here, so like all our food comes from the Okanagan Valley, all the wine. And the outdoor growing season's a little bit longer than other places in Canada. So last year, for example, I was able to grow into December, like to the 1st of December, which is quite amazing for Canada. So typically we get a long, hot, dry summer, but then come mid to late September, we get your typical fall weather rolls in, and then it turns into Canada quite quickly through October. But, you know, in general, we can grow a lot here. I've got peach trees growing. I've got nectarines. I've got blackberries. So lots of fruit, lots of vegetables, and of course, lots of cannabis.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And unfortunately, this year, you, like so many of us in this province, experienced a lot of forest fires. I did see a interview with one of the wine producers in the Okanagan Valley. There was incredible devastation this year. Many homes, unfortunately, a life was lost. But this fella was saying that he may lose his whole crop because of the smoke in the like going right into the grapes.
Sure.
But we were speaking a little bit about this yesterday, and you're hoping that maybe you dodged a bullet in there. In that aspect.
So like that, I can see how that could happen. Like I've got a small grapevine growing here. Now I'm just kind of working with it. I'm not growing many grapes here. Haven't got my own estate here, but grapes are growing already. So when you've got that fruiting body that's already on the plant, I suspect that type of toxicity in the air from the fires, when it's that high, it can probably permeate that fruit and some toxins can get inside. And I'm just hoping that with the cannabis, I have some early flower development, but you know, only a few weeks, just pistils showing, but without any bud growth. I'm hoping that realistically, with that fires gone and the toxicity out of the air, that it shouldn't affect what is going to come on the plants. But if I had light depth 2 months ago and I had massive buds growing now and they had to sit in a month of that orange smoky air, then maybe I would have chopped those down as well. I certainly wouldn't have used them for making medicine.
Yeah.
You know?
So I would appreciate if we could just like sort of hand the show over to you and let you begin the garden tour, and we'll chime in whenever we have some questions, if that works for you.
Yeah, I'll take a cruise around with you guys, and stop me anytime you want. Let me know if you have any questions. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot to look at. I'll just I'll show you what we're looking at as we're going, and we can go from there. I'll do a little bit. I'll turn the camera around here, and hopefully you don't lose me.
Perfect.
Beautiful. So this is one of my terraced areas. This is one of my levels in the garden. We have multiple levels through here. We've got lower down by the house, and I've created quite a few different growing areas. Up here is one of my decking areas where I have predominantly 20 and 30 gallon fabric pots. And then along the wall of this deck outside, I have 10 gallon pots. all the way. So I've got maybe 15 plants just up in this section. So I've created a nice little hedgerow of cannabis with the valley view. That's where the town is. Town of Kelowna is over there. And this is our beautiful sit spot. Come in the morning, have a coffee, or in the evening, and gaze through the beautiful cannabis hedge, looking at the view. Thank you. Now we've got some normal sized plants here, you know, about 4.5 foot tall. This is a Macfish BX by Boston Bob. Boston Bob grows some very potent cannabis, and I do lots of testers for him just to help him see what he's got in his varieties, and also to smoke and share some real fire cannabis. So this is going to be a great variety right here. And then we've got, you know, 8 foot tall plants here. And this is Jager Schnitzel, which is meant to be an early finishing variety that I think was bred by a Canadian. So there's 3 different phenotypes just of this Jager Schnitzel here. And you can see that there's some early flower development. Well, not early, but on time with these first 2 phenos. But then their sister right here is this beautiful, she's super early, and she's got some fantastic flowers on her early on. So this I've cloned, and I'm expecting to hopefully work with this variety indoors just because of the early flower development. And the terpenes on this one are like a creamy caramel, really nice, really beautiful terpenes on that. And then a lot of what I'm growing this year is landrace varieties. I have a real love for landrace. Some of you might know I do a show with FCP called Landrace Conversations. And I just have this love for kind of the origins of where cannabis comes from. And these here are Mexican varieties. So this one is a hybrid strain, which is Purple Zacatecas. And this is the skunky pheno. He's got 2 different phenos. I'll show you some floral phenos that are flowering in the light depth. And then this one is its sister. This is a massive one, 6 foot tall. This is also a Purple Zacatecas. So I wanted to test out a bunch of Mexican varieties this year. And then we also have a Bowl Oaxaca, which is by Xochitl Seeds. So we've got a Oaxacan, we've got some Zacatecas, and then over here is 2 Verde Lemon. Now the Verde Lemon is also by Hybrids. So just up here, I've got 3 Mexican varieties, and then I'm not going to miss this one out here. This beast, she's about 8 foot tall already. I can't even get to the top of her. But this is a vintage Mexican, a pearl type pheno crossed to Jaime Chiba's Roadkill Skunk. And this was shared with me by Intentional Misuse on Instagram. And he's got some amazing genetics. So I'm kind of looking forward to a hybrid, a Mexican hybrid crossed to the Roadkill Skunk. That's going to be very exciting. And I'll just finish on this level for you guys. This one here next to Boston Bob's Macfish BX. This is a Vietnamese 3-way crossed to an Azad Cashmere. So this is a kind of a tester. This I created in the winter. I crossed a 3-way Vietnamese line that was originally from Snow High, and I got that through Future Cannabis Project. And then I crossed it to an Azad Cashmere Preservation Seeds from Susie B Selections. So this is going to be a beautiful hybrid of your super long flowering Vietnamese narrow leaf with your, you know, your more broadleaf hash plant. So that'll be a real fun hybrid to test out. And then we have some stuff that's a little more modern. This is a Oregon Blackberry Diesel crossed with a Dogwalker OG. So I do not discriminate against cannabis. I like landrace cannabis. I like modern cannabis. I'll smoke the hype. I'll try everything. We do not discriminate here.
That's awesome.
So with one of the longer flowering strains, you're more or less you're just doing testing here, or are you anticipating that that's going to finish for you?
Yeah, great question. So a lot of what I'm doing here is testing. So I love making seeds. I love breeding and crossing other varieties together. That's a huge hobby for mine. I'm trying to create new varieties, maybe that work good for me here in Canada. And I'm also trying to create varieties that I can test out for medicinal use. So for me, it's all about the medicine. And it's medicine for everybody. Everybody's cannabis use is medicine, whether it's for pain or whether it's just to put a smile on your face. If you need to be happy, that's medicinal. So
Absolutely.
I'm trying to, I'm trying to create for myself something that makes me feel good and makes me happy, something that can take away the aches and pains at the end of a long work day, and then maybe something that'll calm me down and put me to bed at night, because I drink a lot of coffee and I smoke a lot of long flowering sativas. So I kind of need, I need something for the morning, and then I need something for the end of the day as well.
Definitely. I'm a coffeeaholic over here too.
Now I'll take you this way. I've come up to my upper level. So this is kind of where I have my coffee in the morning.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
This is our south face. Oh, it's beautiful. The sun comes up over the mountains over here. And all day long, it just sails across the sky, and the whole garden kind of gets baked in sun. And then maybe about 3:30 in the afternoon, the sun goes up over the mountain here and dips down. So we don't get the hot, intense end of the day sun, which is great because that's the hottest part of the day here. And then this is my landrace light depth terrace. So I created rock terraces in here, and I've got about 4 different rows. The back row isn't used, and you can see this is my problem is I make sure I maximize all the space I have. So we are full in here, and it's, by the way, the smell right now in here is amazing because we have, this is the purple Zacatecas floral pheno. Now, the scent and the fragrance coming off of this is just the most beautiful floral, tropical flowers, tropical fruit that I've ever smelled. And I do love a floral type in cannabis. I find it's quite special. Maybe it's not so unique, but I don't find it in all varieties. And I don't know if that's trends. You know, we kind of have these terpene trends, and sometimes people want the funk, and the funk kind of goes around for 5 years, and then the gas. But I'll tell you what, like the floral notes coming off of this and the tropical fruit are amazing. So this is probably 3 up to 4 weeks into flower, because I've been pulling this tarp for 4 weeks religiously now. And then, I don't know, I'm just going to show you. I don't know if you can see this little guy in here. We've got, we got a ladybug larvae there.
Yeah, I see that.
So I noticed we've got some aphids in here, but this is part of my gardening style as well, is I let nature kind of run its course. So there's another ladybug larvae right there. And these guys are going to take care of the pests for me. I don't really do much for spraying. You know, I watch my plants, I feed my plants, and I scout, and I'll find the pests, but I don't really do much about them unless I feel the need to. So I know if I kind of let it fly, that the good guys are going to come, and they're going to build their numbers because there's food. And that's the way it is here, is we try to let the balance of nature look after itself.
I like that.
Yeah.
You start spraying shit, and that kills things, and the next thing you know, that throws off all the balance. And
Exactly, Josh. You know exactly all about that. The biology is so important. And if you spray and kill your ladybugs, and then for some reason the aphids come back, then you're in big trouble. You know, and I don't get rid of anything. I do chop and drop. So any of the lowers that I cut off, they just stay down here. And again, this is now food for the roly-polies and everything that lives down here, and it'll stop them coming up on your plant.
Yeah.
So I try to just keep a closed loop system. You know, everything stays, nothing leaves the yard. And then
what are you feeding these ladies?
Yes, food. Great question, Josh. So the food is super important. I like to create my own foods. So all the lowers that I've chopped off of the plants in here, what I did with those, you know, when we do our shaving the legs of everything, I take all those cuttings, and then also if I have males, I'll chop down my males and I stuff them into a 5-gallon pail, stems, leaves, whatever. And I fill that pail with water, and then I put a little bit of lactic acid bacteria in there, close the lid, and you let that sucker ferment anaerobically for at least a month. And that's going to liquefy that plant. All the nutrients, JLF, Jadam liquid fertilizer, all the nutrients that were in that plant will be immediately available in that fermented liquid, in that JLF, which for me as an organic gardener, that'll do two things. If your plants are a little bit hungry, you can feed that and it gives them nutrients right now. So, you know, once you start to see a little bit of fade, I'll put my top dress down, but it's a little bit late because the top dress will take 3 weeks to break down. So you use that type of JLF and it'll give it nutrients right now, and it'll also help break down the top dressing that you put on.
Awesome.
Damien, can you give me your procedure when you're doing your light depth? Like I know I've tried it in the past, and the biggest issue I had was the way the humidity built up so rapidly. But
yes,
also I'm also want to question the hours of the hours that you do it.
Of course, yes. So you're absolutely right, and I'll tell you what. A lot of what I'm doing here, I'm not a master cultivator. Maybe I have a green thumb. There's a lot of green around here. I'll admit I'm learning to be a good grower.
4 green thumbs, bro. 4 green thumbs.
Okay, thank you. But I'm learning. I learn every day from people like you, Josh, from these shows that people like you put on, Rick. So my light depth is not perfect. There's no fan in my light depth. And when I open it in the mornings, it's full of humidity. And realistically, I know that the plants don't love it. And on my front row where I pull my tarp down, where that tarp touches some of the leaves and some of the flowers, there's some discoloration on the leaves because of that. So I can tell there's a little bit of extra heat and extra humidity because of the tarp touching the plants, which isn't ideal. So unfortunately, I've had to cut back some of those branches on the front of that light depth. But my times, what I do is I'll pull the tarp at about 5 p.m. in the evening. They're going to stay awake a little bit later tonight because Daddy says it's okay. But then I'll let them sleep until about 8 in the morning. So I'm depping for a longer time. They're asleep longer than they're awake because they're all long flowering varieties. We've got Indian varieties in there. We've got Thai. And they're really hard to trigger into flower. So I'm kind of giving them a dark period of, 14, 15 hours right now to really kick them into gear. But when I pull that tarp off, I feel the humidity come out, but the scent of the terpenes is in there as well. So again, it's not a perfect situation, but I'll improve it next year. This is me learning. And what I did learn about the light depth this year is you need a proper light depth tarp. So I had to buy the white and black, maybe it's Panda film, or it's the greenhouse tarp. Before that, I tried to light depth for 3 weeks with a brown Home Depot tarp, and it did not work. So there, maybe some proliferation. There was some light leaks because it was just a brown tarp, and nothing went into flower. So I was pulling tarp for 3 weeks, and I was like, "Where's the pistils in my light deck?" And nothing was flowering. So this is just, you know, we all make mistakes, but you can't let that set you back. You just have to keep going, learn from it, and, you know, make changes for next year.
Right on. Right
And
on.
do you just do outdoor, or do you do indoor when it's the colder season?
Yeah, so I definitely do indoor. I'm doing indoor now. So in the summertime, I'll usually make seeds.
Yeah.
And in the winter time, I'll take my flower production indoors.
Awesome.
I kind of never stop growing. I grow microgreens in the winter, so that we can have some greens. These are Thai males. These are males from the Phupan Mountains. These are squirrel tail Thai. And again, these are males, and they're not going to be able to last very long because they'll flower eventually. But you can see they're not even close. They're not even trying to flower. You know, the Canadian sun just stays up too long to kick them into gear. But yeah, I love indoor growing. I like to grow small pots inside, and outdoor is my bigger pots. So here's a monster for you. This one is a Jaldapara from West Bengal, India, and it's growing straight through my pergola, and it's about a foot and a half through up there. And again, this one, it's not going to finish because she has not even.
That's the biggest scrognet I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
you can climb right on that one.
So, I mean, I love to just show them off. And you know what? I still learn from them. I'll let this grow as long as I can before I need to cut it down. But it's never a waste because that's going to turn into my next ferment. And that's going to feed everything else.
Yeah.
Same as here. Even some of these plantings. So for me, organics, like this is a 10-gallon pot. And out of a 10-gallon pot with organics, I can grow a 10-foot tall plant. You know, that thing is 10 foot tall. It's happy. It's green. I've only cut off the lowers just so I could get through because there was no room to get through in here.
Now, how often
but
do you
this is a
like that in a 10-gallon pot?
Exactly, and that's in a 10-gallon pot.
Yeah, he was curious how often you have to feed them.
In that one pot, like how often do you feed
great question.
In a 10-gallon.
Yeah, so typically in anything I've got here, you know, a lot. I like my 10-gallon pots, 10 gallons and 20 gallons. Yeah, when you see smaller pots, those are usually seeded plants that came out from the outside and they're finishing. But this plant here, I'll give it a feed every 6 weeks with a top dressing. So I'll feed it alfalfa meal, kelp meal, and sometimes, you know, a typical like 4-4-4 all-purpose. But I don't like to use high nitrogen fertilizers. I like to use lower NPK and see how they do. I like to, you know, a lot of these varieties are mine. So right here, I created a Burmese by Blueberry. So I'm learning from this plant. I like to underfeed them and see how they perform. And some of these plants will be amazing with hardly any food. And then also sometimes like some of these leaves on these plants just blow me away, the size of the leaves. And I believe this is obviously genetic. There's blueberry in this plant and there's super skunk in this one. But I think the FPJs allow the plant to just, you know, feed themselves better. So this is an alfalfa extract I make. And this is the exact same way as I do the, you know, stuff it in a bucket, fill it with water, and a month later, you've got food for a whole year.
Awesome.
And then diversity. Lots of flowers, lots of, you know, you talked about catnip. I've got some catnip growing up here. But I think that's the key, is to plant everything. I've got nasturtium, a beautiful nasturtium hanging all the way down the wall. And this is planted in my cannabis pot. You know, so this is a companion plant to this Congo blueberry plant up there. And then we've also got marigolds. So marigolds, again, you want pollinators to come, you want predator bugs to come. This is calendula. It's all gone to seed. Every year I collect my own seed, spread that back through the yard, and more flowers for next year.
So do you choose the flowers according to what would be good, like companion-wise with the cannabis?
I think I have found a few things that I like. When I first started out, I would take advice on what people thought were good companions. But realistically, I'll call it a companion plant, but I don't, not necessarily that it's good for cannabis, but I've noticed that, for example, the calendula will draw aphids to it and thrips before they go on the cannabis. So for me, that's a trap plant, maybe more than a companion plant. So not that it's right, not that it's maybe sharing exudates in the roots, it might be, but more that it's pulling the pests away from the cannabis and putting it somewhere where I can see it, and then I can wait and I can let that population build on that calendula, and then I can just chop that one down, chuck it in the compost, and I've taken a whole population of pests away by keeping that trap plant.
Yeah, that's great info. Cool.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
do you bud wash when you're done at the end of the year?
I don't do any bud washing. Now, I know people who bud wash regularly, but I haven't really seen anything like in here. These plants have been out here all summer. And when I look at these plants, I mean, I don't see bird crap on them. Now there's birds everywhere because I've got insects everywhere. So there's birds living here. But I feel like my plants are clean. I also know that, you know, there's biology on everything. I also believe a lot of this biology is meant to be consumed the way a tomato grows. And I think I can pick that tomato and maybe I'll brush it off on my sleeve, but I just want to take a bite out of that fruit or that vegetable the way it is, unless I feel like it's dirty. You know, that's just the way I look at it. So unless I feel like there's a need, but realistically, my plants, to me, if they look clean and if I don't notice anything wrong, you know, if there's no pest infestation during flower, I'll just, you know, I'll cure up my buds the way they are without any cleaning or bud washing.
Yeah.
So this is a Bubba Kush. I have some beautiful Bubba Kush plants this year. And I made seeds with these. I did an increase on these Bubba Kush. And now these are the seed moms that I cloned. And I've brought them out so I can do some smoke testing of the Bubba Kush. And that's typically a lot of what I do as well, is I'll keep mother plants out here. They're not all for flower. Sometimes they're just mothers that I'm going to take back inside after their clones come outside and kind of revitalize. But you can see I just let it rip. You know, we've got a squash growing across everything here. And I just like to let everything kind of be natural and do what it wants to do. You know, we got the squash coming down across this sumac. We've got some squash growing here, squash growing here. Coming up another level, I've got some blackberries. We did really well with blackberries this year. Another beautiful squash. And then just intertwined with everything. And then there's a beautiful CBD plant. This CBD plant's got some really interesting variegation on it. There's two of these out here and they're all completely like got this variegation. This looks like a deficiency. It's really interesting, but that's just a variegation.
Oh yeah.
I've got a cherry tree here. This produced lots of cherries this year. It's only 5 foot tall. I've only had it for 2 years, but we get cherries. This is another CBD variety from Hoku Seed Co. Hoku Seed Co. has very great early flowering, early triggering, early finishing varieties. So for anybody who's in the, northern parts of America or the Pacific Northwest or in Canada, Hoku Seed Co's genetics typically flower early and finish early, and the mixed ratio cannabinoids are amazing medicine.
Awesome.
Yeah, he does a lot of CBD.
A lot of CBD, yes.
I have $1 million question here for you.
Yeah, shoot, Josh.
I've asked you this before. I know the answer, so I usually don't ask questions that I already know the answer to. But how are you watering all this stuff?
Oh my God! Right?
That was my question. Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
You would kind of take us a walkthrough on how your watering regime. I'd be fascinated.
Yeah, and if you asked me last year, I would have been very embarrassed to tell you that last year, like half of this garden or 3/4 of the garden was 5-gallon pails, and me running up and down stairs for about 2 hours a day, every day for the whole season.
I did ask you, and you did tell me. Okay,
I did. Now it's not all of that, but up here, there's no irrigation up here. I've got 20-gallon pots. I've got 10-gallon pots, and everything up here gets watered by hand. And I do have to come up this flight of stairs with 5-gallon pails every day, unfortunately. But I do have it almost ready. So I do some landscaping, and this is a drip line. And next year, this drip line is going to be hooked up. But most of the yard, all the ornamentals, all the trees, all the grasses, everything through here is all irrigated with a drip line system that I installed a few years ago. So thank God everything here looks after itself. Yeah. I've got a timer that comes on every day. I can change the timer. I have different zones. So, some of the shady areas get less water and the sunny areas get more water. And then up on this level, some of the cannabis has drip line as well. So this is a 100-gallon pot down here, and I've got 3 CBD varieties in here, 3 CBD plants, all the same variety. And I love to do that. I love to put multiple plants in one pot. So this is from Green Bodie Genetics. This is a AC/DC by Canatonic by 78 LA Affy. So 2 high-known CBD varieties crossed to an amazing LA Affy. So these are going to be amazing. And the different phenotypes. I got little ones. This one's just a little one. The one behind here is massive. So we're going to get great medicinal production out of this, out of a 100-gallon pot. And I don't have to water that. So thank goodness it's getting easier. But I'm going to tell you, it took a long time for me to get to the point where I could mostly sit back and relax, because I had to build all this. There was nothing here when I moved in 10 years ago. So I kind of created what I wanted, but it was like 10 years of weekends and evenings. But now it's virtually finished, and now I can enjoy it.
Right on. Awesome. Right on.
Are you guys allowed to have rain barrels there?
Yes, we are, but it never rains.
Okay.
It hardly ever rains. In the last 3 months, we've had 4 hours of rain. So, we get rain in the spring and we get rain in the fall. And you guys might enjoy this. I've tried something new this year. I tried to create a little cannabis archway. I've tied these 2 plants together.
Okay.
So these are haze plants crossed to Indian variety. So these are Indian haze. So I knew they'd grow real tall, and then I just thought I'd tie them together and create a little archway. Now that's decoration. Not everything in this yard is to be finished on time. And then some things are seeds. So I love to make seeds. This is a amazing early sativa blueberry. So it's a Nigerian skunk crossed to a blueberry from Old Timer 1. And then I crossed this to a maroof. So I've got a early sativa blueberry maroof, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 seed moms. And this is for me to make F2s. So I love breeding. I love testing what I make. Everything that I make comes outside so I can see what it's going to do. And then I find out what I like, what I don't like about what I've made. And that just kind of leads me into the next year. You know, I'm always on the fly. I never know what I want to do next year, but whatever happens in this yard this year kind of leads me to what I want to do next year.
Very cool.
How the hell do you keep track of all the different
Yes,
varieties?
there's not really any tags in here. I'm quite a nerd about the lineage. So like this is a triangle kush crossed to a lemon tree.
You just know. You just walk around.
I just know it
and just know it.
And that's crossed to a low lab lemon Kashmiri. This is another Hoku Seedco strain. And then behind, these are beautiful. I have to talk about these. This big, beautiful plant. This is a black Afghani from the Underground Seed Collective. These were shared with me from a friend, Susie B. Selections, who does preservations. So she did a preservation on these black Afghani, and they've just got this beautiful globe shape. They're just full, really beautiful. And then there's 2 more sisters behind. So there's 3 of them here. Really thick, beautiful broadleaf. We've got a bee hanging out. And then behind the Afghanis are 2 gigantic red Baluchistan. So these were shared by a local friend who lives up in Kamloops. He is on the shoe on Instagram. And these monsters, he shared these plants with me. And you can see I've got about 5 foot shaved up to the top. There's about another 4 foot up there. Wow. And there's 2 plants sharing a 100-gallon pot. So we got beautiful big stalks growing here.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
I told you that motherfucker.
And then
shit.
Yes.
How do you keep track of all that shit? I have no. You must have a photographic memory.
Yeah,
I think I do have a photographic memory.
You have to.
And of course,
you don't have a tag in there, dude. I wouldn't know what the fuck. Sorry for my language, but how in the world do you keep track of all those and you know every single one of them? That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Well, we lost him.
Oh.
Am I back?
There he is.
Yeah,
there you are. Yep.
I'm back.
Yep.
I knew I'd come back. Yeah, so I think the photographic memory helps, but I think the love and the passion is what drives me.
Still,
you know, I love what I'm doing. It's my hobby. What I wanted to do was I wanted to create a hobby where I didn't have to leave my house, where I could stay home. My family's here. I've got 2 young boys, and my wife, my lovely wife, how she lets me do all this back here. I think
disappear for hours, watering plants.
For hours. She knows where I am. She can't find me, but she says as long as I'm planting flowers and herbs, then I'm allowed to kind of do what I want with my plants.
You gotta have diversity.
But look, I grow chard. We've got greens, so you know we grow food as well. Not much, but a little bit, enough.
And you know, Damien, the your water regime is very demanding. But having said that, there's something to be said for when you're hand watering. You're that much closer to the plant. You get a better feel for what's going on there.
Yes.
And overwatering and underwatering is always a challenge. So there is some benefit to it.
I agree. That's a great point, Rick, because for me, I do water plants differently. I don't dump the same amount in every pot, although that's how I'll start the year. You know, so if everything's in a 5-gallon pot, I'll start by giving them all a 3/4 gallon of water But then next time I come out, I'll look at that plant and I'll know how much it drank. I'll see by the leaves if it's droopy or if it loves it. And then next time I'll adjust, and then I get to know the plants. And this is part of my kind of testing process to find out what plants get hungry really fast. Plants like this that don't really need much food and they'll still grow 12 foot tall. So the vigor and like the life that's in this plant without food, that's kind of golden knowledge to know for creating other.
Yep.
I love to, I don't know. And then that's how I know what they all are.
Yeah. Hey, I got a couple more questions back on the light depth. First, when do you decide when you're going to start? Do you like refer to the Farmer's Almanac, or do you figure out the?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't. Yeah.
I'm sorry. And then the next part of the question was, do you have to continue that like continually right to the end, or does it come a point where the hours of darkness are becoming more beneficial to you for finishing off?
Yeah, that's a great point, and I'll kind of touch on all of that. So I base, like, when I start my light depping on, I create my own calendar. I've got my calendar on my phone is my cannabis calendar. So I've got all my dates in there for the different varieties, how long they're going to flower, and when I need to kick them into gear. So I knew that I was growing 14, 15-week varieties in the light dep terrace. So I knew I needed to start depping 15 weeks before Halloween, because Halloween's kind of, the finishing day in Canada in general. Earlier is better. If you can finish at the beginning of October, that's amazing. Eventually, I hope to create some varieties that finish early for me here. But I just count the weeks back from October or mid-November. And if that's 15 weeks is mid-July, then that's when I start depping. And then that's a huge point you made about when you can stop, because I'm actually going to be running into a problem here. In about 12 days, I have to leave town to go visit some family, and I'm going to be gone for 8 days. And I don't have anyone who can pull my tarp for me. So we're going to find out what happens when you stop pulling the tarp
there you go.
September 10th, right? So I don't know. I believe that some of those plants are going to switch their hormones in those 8 days, like maybe the Thai, maybe the Indian, the West Bengal. They might revert back because I believe they're only a couple weeks into flower right now. But the purple Zacatecas up there that had those big fluffy buds already, those might be okay because they've been well triggered really early. They're well into flower. And even if there is a hormone shift, I believe they're far enough into flower that maybe the 7-8 days, maybe they'll be able to either kick back into flowering by pulling the tarp again, or hopefully the daylight hours have changed enough that they can just keep going. So I don't plan to pull tarp until Halloween. I'm hoping in, late September, I can finish pulling the tarp. But just so you know, like daylight hours here in Canada, where I am, it doesn't get dark here till 8 o'clock at night this time of year. So that's, and the sun comes up at 6 in the morning. So that's still 14 hours of daylight, which realistically might not be enough dark time to keep them into flower if I stopped pulling the tarp now. That's what I think, But this is trial and error. We're testing it out,
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, that's pretty cool. So this is the first time you've tried something like that?
Yes, I built this year. I wanted to be able to finish the longer flowering varieties because last year I was growing some Indian varieties. And I knew they weren't going to finish. I kind of grew them to showcase them for the Zomia Collective to see how they did. They still flowered and I still got to smell the terpenes, but they weren't anywhere close to finishing. And that was okay, but it kind of, you know, when you love your plants, it kind of made me sad that I had to cut them down, knowing that the bud wasn't finished. I could have made something medicinal out of them. And it had, you know, some cannabinoids are there, but not all of it. The potency's not there. So I wanted to find a way to not just showcase these plants, but to be able to finish them. So I just built this light depth this year. And when I say built the light depth, I mean, the terrace was already here. I've had this for a few years, but the hoops, I put the hoops up this year. And then I got the, you know, the quality black and white greenhouse panda film. So you've got the black on the inside absorbs the light. So if any light gets inside, it gets absorbed by the black. And then you've got the white on the outside to reflect the light so that it doesn't try to attract any light, even if the light, you know, daylight is bright. And it's working, you know, that's the purple Zacatecas again. It's working. But I'll show you the difference. This is another variety. This is a Burmese by Blueberry. So this is into flower, but not nearly as much as the purple Zacatecas. And then the Thai has been being light depth for the same amount of time for, you know, and it's only just starting to flower. So even with complete darkness for 14 hours a day, it still doesn't really want to flower.
Wow.
You know?
So you're going to try to, are you going to try to run some fans in there maybe next year?
Yes. So exactly. So one of my friends said the same thing. He goes, have you got a fan in there? Oh yeah, that's what I came back to kind of show you what this extra heat and humidity does to the plants. So I definitely want a fan in here next year. So it's still beautiful. This is the front where the tarp comes down right here. So the buds are very close. I did cut some of this back. I cut a lot of this out to stop touching the tarp, but you can see just that discoloration on the leaves. It's just not happy. A little extra heat, a little extra humidity, and it's just, that's not a deficient. Well, it's you know, it's not a nutrient deficiency, but that is from the tarp touching the plant. So it's just a little bit, but that I don't want to happen next year. And what I'll probably do is I'll probably cut a little bit more of this back so that we're more flush with the front, because I probably don't want my finishing buds to be touching that plastic for too long. You know, I'm kind of a natural guy. I don't really like the idea of the plastic touching the buds if that's going to be my medicine. So I'll cut these back a little bit, and there's so much for me to be able to, you know, still have. I don't mind if I lose a little bit up front, because these are going to produce, you know, a lot of great cannabis for me. Those are going to put on some weight in the next 2 months, you know.
For sure.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And what do you do? Like, how do you, some of your plants are massive. So what are you doing to like hold the bud up at the end?
That's great too. Now, you know what, I'm sure I'm the same as a lot of people out there. Sometimes my pot will start with one bamboo stake in the middle tied to it just to stop it blowing over the wind. And then by, you know, late flower, there might be 15 bamboo sticks in that 30-gallon pot.
For sure.
And I get the little tomato ties. You get your little tomato clips, and I just clip all the branches to the bamboo stakes. And even in here, I have to put a bamboo on everything just to kind of keep it back behind the tarp, to keep them standing upright. They are massive. The other thing I don't like to do, but I have to do. So super cropping, you know, so there's your top. I've had to totally bend that whole top over horizontally, and then it pops back up fine, starts growing straight again. But, you know, the tarp's only up to here. So these tall varieties, they all get super cropped over. and that's another method just to keeping the canopy down. I could create, a beautiful net in here, a trellis net, and I could hold everything down, and that would be the best way, for production, because then these smaller, lower buds will be more like those bigger buds out front in the sun. But for me, I'm not growing for production. I like to see what the plant does on its own. I like to leave the natural tops. I want to see how tall they get. I want to see what they do naturally, because if I'm going to breed with that plant, which I breed with a lot of my plants, I just want the information. I want to see how tall they get. I want to see the spread they put on, how much food they eat, and flowering time. So everything here is an experiment, and I'll experiment with everything. I'll try every method there is: super cropping, trellising, bamboo stakes. The only thing I don't really deter from is the way I feed the organic food. That's kind of my thing, is just stick with the organics. I find that it's super easy once you've done it long enough. At the beginning, there was a lot to learn and figure out, but eventually, once you figure out that you can pull your weeds and put them in a bucket, fill it up with water, and create like 4 months worth of food for a garden of this size from a bucket of water and some weeds, or your males that you chop down, then organic gardening gets really easy. And I'm just going to show you here. It's not large. I'm not doing large scale, but
that's a peach.
Yeah, man. That's a beautiful peach.
Beautiful.
So whatever I can try growing, I'm going to try it all. We're going to see what works. We're going to find out what doesn't. I also like to put a lot straight in the ground. So this is just straight in the ground. This is a Dr. Grinspoon by Winnie the Blue from Scallywag Seeds.
The blue.
Yeah, so Winnie the Blue is a old school blueberry. So he crossed a old school blueberry to like a Nepalese mountain sativa, which is the Dr. Grinspoon. But like this plant has had zero food. I haven't fed this plant anything. I've just chopped some branches down here below. I haven't put any organics down here at all. And when I dug this hole, this plant only had a root depth before I hit rock of about 8 inches. So that plant is literally sitting on rock. Its roots are on top of the rocks that are in this mountain. But I think that, cannabis, I think a lot of it, because it comes from these mountainous regions, they've, genetically found a way to feed themselves in that mineral rich type of soil. So I'll just show you the native soil here. The native soil is just rocks. Like this is the mountainside, rock and shale. There's not really any soil in here, but cannabis is intelligent enough to know how to pull the nutrients out of this type of ground. And I find that, the peach tree, I've got to feed the peach tree. The peach tree will not grow peaches without food. So I do lots of feeding for that one there. But the cannabis is amazing how it just finds a way, takes the minerals and feeds itself.
That's very awesome.
They show your neighbor's yard. Show the difference between your yard and your neighbor's.
Oh God!
Yeah, I'll show you the before and after.
Show what this poor loser next door neighbor.
Oh my God!
Is.
So they're gonna. I just spoke to him yesterday, and he was commending me on how nice the yard was. So.
There was a comment Dave posted just a minute ago in chat, and I was thinking the same thing. It's like you do a lot of experimenting, and that's what really makes the whole garden thing challenging and interesting.
Yes, and the challenge is part of the fun. I mean, if you have the space. I mean, if you're only growing 4 plants in a tent because of a plant count, you know, you have to just make sure those plants finish, and maybe you can't experiment and test, but like I've got the space. So whatever we can learn is just priceless. So we'll just give you a little, this is the backdrop. Now, none of this was here in my yard when I moved in, except for the fir trees. The fir trees were here, but nothing else was in here. And my yard looked like this when I moved in.
Oh man.
Shoot.
So
and this is 10 years.
That's 10 years to turn it from that into this.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, but even this tree, I planted this tree. I planted my beautiful blue spruce. Very nice. You know, all of it. This is a sumac, which is gorgeous. It looks very tropical for Canada. I call it the Canadian palm tree. And it was, you know, it was awesome. I've enjoyed doing what I do, putting this together. And, you know, every year I do a little bit of a change here and there. I'll add a few new flowers. I might, you know, change it up, put a few more pots somewhere. But the goal for me is I'm usually adding something. So I might have added these cosmos flowers this year. I didn't have any cosmos last year. You know, or the nasturtium. You know, I had marigolds, and last year I had calendula, or chamomile. But the nasturtium is fairly new for me. So the only thing I'm doing when I make changes is just adding something else that wasn't here before, you know, echinacea. And I think the more things that you can put into your garden, the more balance you're going to have. You're just going to have a wider variety of beneficial insects that are going to protect your plants. We've got marshmallow. So native varieties, these might not be native to Kelowna, but they're native medicinal plants. We've got the catnip, the marshmallow. This is mugwort, which I also make. I make herbal medicines for myself and for my wife and my kids.
Didn't we do that, mugwort?
Yeah, mugwort.
Yeah.
You guys did as well?
Yeah. We did.
Yeah, we did.
Nice. So mugwort's super beneficial. I love, and that's my new passion, is learning about the herbs and the flowers. So now I'm starting to make flower remedies. My lavender, I just made a lavender tincture, and oh my God, I'll tell you. So the lavender, I've got it everywhere. Now we're going to harvest this. I left it so I could show you guys today, but this lavender is ready for harvest. We're going to chop this up, and I mean, oh my God, like the fragrance from this is so medicinal. Just smelling it makes you feel better, calms you down. So I made a tincture out of this, and we give it to the kids at nighttime to chill them out. Right?
That's awesome.
And then skin, for your skin, you know, calendula. I've got lots of calendula flowers. Those are part of my trap plants. But the ones, they kind of reflower all year round. So we'll do a chop of the flowers in the spring, and we'll harvest the calendula flowers. Now these are super beneficial for the skin. So I make a skin salve, a healing balm out of calendula, chamomile, lavender, all the beneficial things for your skin. And
we would love to have you on to show us that sometime as well.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. I've always kind of wanted to do like a, you know, let's make something show, because if I'm not watering my plants up and down the stairs with buckets, I'm usually in the kitchen making something, you know.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm always making something, and once I've made everything that I've got in the yard, then I'm reading about something else. What else should I put in here next year? And what else, what other benefits can I get medicinally from another herb or another flower?
Amazing.
Right on. Damien, we talked about how long you can spend on the show, and very grateful for your time. You said you could maybe spend a little more time with us, but the boys may be tugging at your shirt sleeve there, so we're going to be competing with their time as well. But
Yes.
Before we let you go, I'm interested in some of the people in this community that have been a positive influence in your life. I know you mentioned Boston Bob, the work you do with him, and Green Bodie, and some of the other people that have been a positive influence in your life.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. So, I mean, I'm never gonna think about everyone, but I mean, I have to shout out and thank the Future Cannabis Project first, because I started my organic journey by watching the Future Cannabis Project. And yes, Josh too. I was watching Brian and Marco and, Leighton Morrison, and learning about the horizon layers that you could put in your soil. I build even 20-gallon pots. I do like a horizon layer system, even in as small as a 20-gallon pot. So I learned all this from watching other people, and they're bringing guests on. I mean, Elaine Ingham, everyone knows her. She was an amazing person. I took an ecosystem restoration class and a permaculture class through the Soil Food Web School that she put together. That was amazing. That taught me so much. But then also out of that, you have to look other directions as well, like Korean natural farming. You've got Chris Trump. You've got all these other people who are teaching you about Korean natural farming, which is amazing. Green Bodie, what a great guy for a breeder who's out there, and he's putting money back towards helping other people around the world, building wells. The Zomia Collective, who is out there helping farmers preserve what they have and coming to people like us to grow some of these varieties so that we can put a spotlight on what these farmers and what these people are doing, where the origin of cannabis comes from. And it's really important that we support people like that. We support the people doing the good work, buy seeds from people who are doing wonderful things, and, share with people. And these shows, these podcasts, thank you for having me on. Thank you for having me back, because now I just love sharing. Everything I have is because of other people. And if I can talk a little bit about my garden and maybe inspire someone into trying something new, trying organics, trying landrace, and supporting all these other great people out there. Josh is amazing what he's doing, what he's showing, what you can do, and not just the capability of growing indoors, but what's behind it, why he's able to do that indoors. It's not just the lights. Lights are important, but it's that biology, and we need to teach people about how to save their soil, how to build soil, how to keep everything in their yards, recycle, rebuild, compost. And all this is important for regenerative farming, regenerative cannabis. One day, hopefully, we can all be puffing on organic regenerative cannabis and sharing these type of medicines with our friends. So I thank everyone that's helped me along the way. All of you are included. Thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me a moment to ramble
what you can
and
do
rant.
in a small
Yes.
area. You don't need a big area. You need a small little area, man.
Yeah, I think it's huge. You can start small, and you build on that, and let your passion grow, let your knowledge grow. I read books. I had a surgery 5 years ago, and I had to kind of lay on the couch for 2 months, and I read 11 books. I read every cannabis book that was out there, and I read all the Jeff Lowenfeld's books, on biology and bacteria and the chemistry of how the plants feed. And all this will make you a better grower, a better gardener, and make you appreciate, what's going on out there. And I appreciate everybody in this community. It's a community we're building here, and we have to keep that alive.
Yeah, here,
Definitely.
for sure. But that would be a good segue to catching up on Josh and what's going on in his garden. Josh, I know you just flipped over to flower.
Yeah, we're in flower. We just got to 12-12 today actually, and yeah. So we're on a 7-7 cycle now. So 7 in the morning till 7 at night. And everything, we're getting ready for the 7th inning stretch. You know it is. It's coming. So
yeah, for sure.
These plants are doing great. I mean, everything in there looks healthy as hell. The APSU super soil, you know, is performing as expected. You know, everything is super dark green in that side of the bed. And you can just see look at the difference. You can see the green, the difference in the plants.
Yeah, and they're really praying. Wow.
Oh, every morning I walk in there, man, and when the lights come on, they're praying. Like when the lights come on, they're just like standing straight up in the air. And they're growing, you know, at least an inch a day, it seems like.
Wow.
Okay, now can we be a little more specific on that, please, Josh? Like, so are you telling me that when the lights go on, they stand to attention, or?
Yeah. No, they're already up. They're already up.
They're waiting.
Okay, but are they, or do they wait till the lights go on? Are they anticipating the lights going on, or are they waiting for them to go on?
No, they're already up. Like I said, when the lights flick, because I go in there when it's dark. Like I'm in there, like it's dark, like lights out, no nothing, and then the lights will just come on, and they're already praying. Like I'm in there in the dark, and I can see them. They're praying.
Yeah. Wow.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then the Monstera had to be pulled back some more. I tied it up, and I had to just yank a lot of the roots that have been growing into the soil up out of the soil just because it's a monster and it's taking over the bed. And then that little Monstera, I forget, that one was given to me by Karma's Earth Angel on Instagram. That's the Instagram handle name. But that one's taken off. Look at it's how it's running up the rock wall there.
Yeah.
And then we got Cooter the Scooter in there and Pooter. All those guys are doing well. Pond's been crystal clear since it's been 2.5 months since the crash.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I haven't had to do anything. Like I haven't, other than add fresh water. But other than that, you know, it's been smooth sailing since I did the water change 2.5 months ago, and I haven't had to do anything else. Just maintain.
Those little spotlights that I just saw?
That's the T5 light for the fish and the turtles.
Oh, okay.
It's bigger. T5 and a heat lamp. So the turtles need a T5 and a heat lamp for their skin and their shells so they can develop and natural stuff. That was bigger this show. But yeah, everything's looking healthy as shit. It's going to get crazy in here. I mean, the plants are just going to get, I just know for sure that we're going to have some fishing lines strung up.
And by the way, while it's on my mind, Josh, it was a few weeks back where I told you that, I'm kind of a creature of habit, and I always watch your YouTube video, but I don't do the Instagram one. But I mentioned that I really enjoyed that, the grand entry when you open the door as you're going into the room and how really cool that looked. And you know what? I remember you did that, and I know you did it just for me on YouTube. That one.
I did. I did do that. I was thinking about you when I was, what Rick told me to put one on here, and I did.
I knew it.
Yep.
It's the door to magic.
I love the intro too. The intro is amazing. You're like a TV channel, Josh. I love it.
I like it. I don't have to put my face on TV. That's one thing. I was like, if I had to do that, I probably wouldn't do it. Yeah, it's fun. It's been a blast to do, and having the crash, but I knew how important it was. I did 3 years of research before I even attempted something like this. And I did a lot of research on the horizontal soil system, like he was talking about Leighton Morrison and horizontal soil system. And that's kind of what allows me to do something like this. Or gave me the idea, because I was playing with a 4x4 bed. I had a 4x4 grassroots living soil bed, and I had done it up in horizontal, and I'd used a clay layer, and it worked really well until like the soil that I put on top of the clay layer was shrinking, but the clay wasn't. You know what I mean? So it was like giving me a huge gap around the edges of the bed constantly. So I would either have to spread out the soil or add more soil. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I just need more space. Like I need more space. I need a real ecosystem where I can like build a pond, and not a pond, but a pond, like build a pond around like the soil itself. And the idea, like I said, it just came from a crazy place, I guess. I don't know. I have a fish pond here outdoors. I was standing out there feeding them one day, and it'd be really cool if I didn't have to shut this down for the winter.
Right.
I was like, how can I use the horizontal system and bring my fish indoors?
It's amazing.
Just playing with it. Took 3 years of research, and then I had the crash. That's what I was talking about, the crash. And the crash, I had put myself in touch with people who were smarter than me, like a lot smarter than me. And I knew how important that was when it came time for that crash, because I knew it was coming. I knew like anytime you bring nature indoors, shit happens. Things are going to crash, the pond's going to crash, things are going to happen that I don't see or that I just screw up myself. And then being able to be like, look, guys, this is what I did. This is what happened. This is the reaction I got. And everybody was like, well, you turn the light, it was all happened when the lights, the lights dictated everything. The lights were dictating how fast the plants grow, how much they photosynthesize. But when I kicked on those far reds and deep reds and flower, it changed everything. Like the bacteria, the cyanobacteria in the creek and in the pond especially just disappeared. The shrimp started dying off. I lost it. I was like, what the hell's going on here? All started when I just flipped the lights. So I flipped the lights back. Everything went back to normal. I did a water change. And since then, everything's been fine. But I wanted to know why that happened. Why did that happen? What happened? What's the big deal about? Because cyanobacteria actually eats light. Science says that, in all the papers, when you AI it, it says that cyanobacteria eats deep red light. It thrives on it. It grows in it. You know what I mean? And they're like, so it didn't really make much sense, but it's not in a system. They're also not in a living system like this, which when I did an instant change, you know what I mean? It was like a flip on, flip off type thing. And, God knows what's going on down there in that creek. And I know that when I did that flip, that instant click, it did not like it at all. Things died. The grass died. Everything just went from boom to boo. And then when I did the opposite of that, everything just came right back to life. And I was like, okay, the lights dictate 95% of everything that goes on in here. If I change these, it affects everything in the room. Just by changing the spectrum, changing amount of intensity, changing this and that. But any amount of change I see immediately. It's not like you foliar feed and you got to wait 2 days to see, or you feed, it's instant. You see it like hours, like 30 minutes, an hour. You leave the room, come back, and it's like, oh shit, okay, you didn't like that. Or you did like that, one or the other. You're going to see it in the plant. That's how fast it is, you know, and that's when I really learned that, you know, the lights in an indoor grow are extremely important. And when you start playing with them, when like what I have these Grand Masters, I can change all the spec. I have 4 different channels that I can tune and change and go up and down and intensity and spectrum and all these different things. And I learned real fast that playing with that stuff in a system like what I've set up is not healthy. Like, find it, set it, and let it be, because it does not like drastic change like that. Like what you're doing with light depth. You know, like I'm scared. Like, you know, if you're not pulling that tarp, your plants are gonna know. Like, it's gonna be quick. You know?
Yeah, they are. And you've got so much like living organic biology going on in your grow. It's not just 4 plants in 4 pots. So that light and that spectrum is keeping things alive or not, right? So it might be different if you're just growing a plant in a tent, and maybe you can mess with the lights a little bit and, you know, the plant might not like it. But when you've got a living system like you have, it's huge, right?
Yeah, it changed everything. You know what I mean? Like, that's what people were saying. That's what all the smart guys, they were like, look, this is not, you know, a typical tent grow. You're not doing what other people are doing. You're dealing with living biology in a whole nother realm. You're in water. You don't know what that intensity, that light ray, that wave is going down, hitting that water and intensifying. You know what I mean? That water is intensifying that light spectrum, and God knows what's happening down. You know, you're probably taking it's like a laser beam probably to the water. You know what I mean? It's like, and I was like, you know, to the plants, they're loving it, but everything underneath the plants wasn't loving it at all. And that's what I missed. You know, that was my fault. I was like looking at the plants, but forgetting about what's actually going on in the creek, which is running the plant, which, if the creek gets messed up, everything gets messed up, because everything's connected to the water system. You know, at this point, I'm almost a year and 9 months in. All the roots are just, you know, everything that's perennial in there is connected to the creek walls, sucking water, you know, out the creek wall, and, you know, the water that's being wicked up over the creek wall. All that's, and I know, and it was quick, dude. I mean, it was so
Josh,
fast.
can I ask you, I want to ask you about your biology. Like, for example, like when I'm growing in outdoors, some of my stuff is in pots. So I have to add some biology to these pots for a few years. You know, I'll add compost with worms. I'll put in some lactic acid bacteria to keep this living system going. So other than, like, I'm guessing that a lot of your bacteria and your organisms are coming like from the creek system, but do you grow organisms? Do you make lactic acid bacteria or add biology, or do you just rely on your creek system to create that biology for the system?
That's a great question, because that's where Mo from I Grow Soil came into play. You know, I've been sitting in with him and his regenerators. They call themselves the regenerators, and they have a microscopy class every Monday night. I've been sitting in on that, and that's who we've been dealing with, and saved the grow. I mean, it really did, with me being in touch with those type of people who had the knowledge to be like, look, purple non-sulfur bacteria, these are the type of bacteria that you need. These are the ones that are eating the light. These are the ones that will get in there quick and fix whatever problem, you know, that you have. So you need to reintroduce your labs, reintroduce your lactic acid bacteria, reintroduce your purple non-sulfur bacteria, reintroduce these things into during your water change. So you do your water change, and you don't do it all at once, you know. So I knew this from my aquarium days. Like, you'd never do, you know, especially if you're dealing with 150, 200 gallon, 300 gallon water, you know, in a tank, you do, you know, a section, you know. And what I mean by that is you do a 25 gallon change, and then do another 25, and then you don't do it all at once. So that's what I did. I did a 20 gallon, 20 gallon, 20 gallon, 20 gallon over the course of a week. And I got all that water out while adding fresh water in, you know what I mean? So I'm just, kind of mixing fresh water with the toxic water, but I'm getting it out slowly over the course of a week so I don't crash the whole system. I don't want to just remove everything. It'd be like putting, antibiotics in your gut and just getting rid of all the bacteria. It's not a good thing. You're going to be sick.
Yeah.
I had the doctor do that to me. He was like, here, you got stomach problems. Here, just get rid of kill everything. And I was like,
somebody in chat had mentioned this, and I had thought about this the other day, Josh.
Yeah.
Little Lee, he said when you change to 12 and 12, that's going to affect whatever vegetables you have growing.
Yeah, it should. I mean, it shouldn't affect them too much. It may affect a couple, but that's that's why we're experimenting with the vegetables. I'm just going to see what I can put in. I know I can do the herbs. I know the squash, the cucumber, all these things are they're gonna do fine. They're just going to continue on to grow, whether it's 12 hours of light or 16 hours of light. So most of
well, and you're so proud of that tomato plant, aren't you?
The tomato plant, man, I tell you, I got 2 of those, and both of them are doing the exact same thing. They're just one of them's outdoors, one of them's indoors. They're both
that's right. Yeah,
growing. Yeah. No, a few tomatoes. Actually, the one outside now is starting to get some tomatoes. It's just such a late bloomer. I mean, it's like most tomatoes are done by now. I mean, this one's just starting to get green baby tomatoes on it, and the one in the grow it's flowering, but it won't. And I pollinated it multiple times, multiple different spots. It gets a little flower on it. I mean, it gets a little tiny. You can see where the flower was, where the flower drops off, and the tomato comes behind it.
Yeah,
you can see the tomato coming, and then
that's it.
And everybody's growing tomatoes is like it's the nitrogen in the super soil. Like it just the tomato doesn't like the high nitrogen, and it won't produce the tomato. It'll grow big, green, and healthy looking, but it just won't produce the tomato.
So I've had peppers outside since the beginning of the year, and I'm just growing peppers now for some reason. Like they just started. And I don't know if it was the extreme heat that we had at the beginning, or maybe it was the nitrogen. I don't know.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't really care at this point. I could care less about that tomato. It's just pretty.
I care about my peppers.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. But they all have different requirements. Like your pepper plant is going to be different from your tomato plant. And they're all going to want different requirements. But if you can create a really healthy living soil, then, you might do better with everything if you can create a balance in a living soil system. Yeah,
the next run, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch over. So I'm just going to take my tomato and put it in my soil, my living soil that I've been working on for 2 years, in the other bag. Because the APSU super soil, I mean, it's brand new, never been grown in. It's hot, not hot, but it's ready to go. It's built and made for cannabis. You know what I mean? And the tomato it might just be too much for the tomato. It grows everything big and beautiful, but as far as into flower, like it's made for cannabis. But I know I got the cucumbers. I've got flowers and cucumbers coming on every single node on the cucumber. So the cucumber loves the super soil.
Awesome.
Yeah. And you know what? It takes a couple years if you're building your own soil. Like I have soil I've been reusing for 6 years. And if I ever empty a pot out, no soil ever leaves. But like if you do create like a new 30-gallon pot with, a new mix, I think it takes like 2 cycles or 2 seasons for it to like get good. Like you might create or you might grow a great plant and some great buds that first cycle, but I think it always gets better if you're ever creating a soil and building it and adding your nutrients, I think once you're into your second cycle and further on, it just gets better and better. But so
100%,
sometimes
yeah,
sometimes you
100%.
got to be patient. Yeah.
Yeah, patience is key in nature. That's for sure. Nothing good happens fast. I learned that in the aquarium world. In nature, nothing good happens fast.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
things take time. And like you said, in most farm, like I listen to a lot of farm podcasts now. Not just cannabis podcasts, but farming. Like I want to know, like what, and almost all of them say 3 years. If you're going from a conventional farm to an organic farm, 3 to 4 years, you're looking at to really start to see change in conventional to, organic or regenerative. It takes time. None of this stuff
100%.
happens fast.
Yeah.
The compost, like Johnson Sioux. If you've ever heard of Johnson Sioux compost method, 1 year. It's a year process. It just takes for time. Like Miss Coot said, it takes what it takes. If it takes
does.
time, if it takes 6 months, wait 6 months. Don't try and rush the process.
Plan ahead. Plan ahead's important. If I have a new area where I want to put food in next year, I'll compost all my veggies and fruit cuttings, all my kitchen scraps. I'll compost a year ahead before I plant anything in that area. So I'm thinking a year in advance,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like me, I was 3 years of research before I even started thinking about, doing any type of horizontal thing. And then I got into horizontal and I was just like, oh shit, this got potential, to be able to bring something indoors, because it has the potential to hold water. You're creating a reservoir. When he said create a reservoir at the bottom, I was like, oh shit, there, bing, bing, light bulb started going off. I was like, I can hold water and grow plants on top. What?
Oh my God. So you're saying you have a solution to me carrying 5-gallon pails up these stairs? Is that what you're saying? I'm going to have to.
I don't know if I got a solution for that, but what was it? You already had it getting ready. Your irrigation system. Yeah,
Yes.
your lines. That'll be.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
And I forgot to mention that Damien has agreed to be our seed sponsor. Thank you so much, Damien. I did want to say, though, that Damien is in Canada, and we've had so many challenges sending seeds across the border. And so if we have a Canadian winner, then Damien can send those seeds out. If not, we'll send something out from the U.S. We're finding it's just the best way. So
Sure.
So yeah, but we do want to thank you for your and maybe we'll keep you in the the bank there for maybe down the road one day when we do get a Canadian winner.
Anytime.
Yeah.
If you need a Canadian donor of seeds, I'd be happy to. I love sharing seeds.
That's awesome.
I appreciate
Thank
that. Appreciate that. Yeah, darn, there was okay. Yeah. Though I just wanted to also add, if anybody's wondering what's going on the screen here, yeah. So what we'll do is we're going to draw. Dave will pick a number of names, throw names in a hat, and then we'll have a race to decide who's going to win those seats. So that's what that's all about on the board there. Yeah. Now, and if we can squeeze it in, we just may be able to talk about catnip. And what else?
Well, let me draw these names real quick.
Squeezing it in.
He's
I'm
got
gonna draw
catnip.
these names.
I want to
I'll
hear
draw
about
these names and
catnip
then we'll do it.
because
All right,
the
let me
only
get
thing I
these drawn.
know is the cats love my catnip. All the neighbors.
Yeah,
The reason why they call it catnip.
but what else is good about it? Hey, we got a winner.
Yeah.
Cat loves
I
to
think
rub its ass up again.
We're gonna draw 10 names tonight.
It's true. The
And,
cats The cats just sleep beside the catnip. Sometimes they crawl in the pot and they literally sleep in the pot with the catnip.
Way to go,
Aw.
Fazoli.
Fazoli.
Now,
good to see you.
I'm curious. Like I've always, whenever I've seen them around catnip, they seem to get quite like, I don't know, like frolicky or that kind of. Where here they just want to chill by your catnip.
I agree. So when they're by the plant, the living plant, they seem really chill, really calm, and they chew on it and they kind of seem a little docile. But when I dry it, if I dry the flowers and then I put it in a little bag to play with them, they seem to get more excited. So there must be some kind of conversion between the fresh catnip and the dry catnip. I don't know.
Interesting.
That's just, this is just bro science. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna look
That's
that up now.
observation.
That's very
Yes,
interesting.
yes, observation.
Congrats to all the winners.
Well,
But we do have a
let's
video.
call them contestants.
Yes.
That's a little better.
Yeah. Better way to say
Great
it.
to see so many familiar names and some new names as well. It's always good to see some new faces. Oh yeah, you're getting pretty high at this stage of the game. I got all these things that are just on the tip of my tongue that I really wanted to get out there, but then it takes about that long to make it go away.
What are you doing? How many little gnomes do you have coming out of the hills to help you chop all that stuff down?
Oh yeah.
You got Oompa Loompas?
Yes. You know what? For me, this year, I've shaved all the lowers up much higher than I ever have before, so that realistically, I'm only going to be cutting the top 30% of the plant off and hanging that. And if the plant's 7 foot tall, 4 foot of the stalk can stay behind, and then I only have to hang the top 3 feet. That's my plan this year.
Nice.
But I like to do.
All right.
I like to do a whole hang the whole thing. I don't really cut branches off. I'll take that whole top where all the buds are, and I'll do a whole plant hang for like 14 days.
All right. Well, let's learn about catnip, shall we?
Catnip.
Yeah.
We've been telling everybody for
Yes.
Here we go.
5 benefits of catnip. Catnip, renowned for its playful effects on felines, offers a plethora of benefits for humans as well. Beyond its popularity in the pet world, this herbaceous plant has holistic properties that support our well-being, from calming the nervous system to enhancing skin health. Dive into the diverse advantages of catnip with us. Calms the central nervous system. Catnip, scientifically known as Nepeta cataria, contains compounds believed to have neuroprotective effects. When consumed or inhaled, these compounds interact with our central nervous system, producing a calming effect. While most associate catnip with feline antics, its ability to soothe nerves isn't exclusive to cats. For humans, this calming property suggests potential therapeutic uses, particularly for those seeking natural remedies for stress or anxiety. Understanding these effects can reshape our view of this versatile herb. Promotes sound sleep through catnip tea. Catnip tea, brewed from the leaves of the Nepeta cataria plant, has been a cherished remedy for inducing relaxation and promoting restful sleep. The natural compounds in catnip aid in soothing the mind, paving the way for a more peaceful slumber. To prepare, simply steep dried catnip leaves in hot water for 5-10 minutes. Drinking this aromatic tea before bedtime can become a nightly ritual for those seeking a serene night's rest. Acts as a stress reliever and mood booster. Catnip's reputation extends beyond feline entertainment. It's also a natural stress reliever and mood enhancer for humans. The herb contains compounds that aid mood regulation, potentially lifting spirits and diminishing anxiety. Numerous individuals testify to the calming sensation they experience upon consuming catnip in various forms. Scientific studies are delving deeper into these effects, suggesting that catnip's natural properties may provide a genuine alternative or supplement to conventional mood-enhancing remedies. Speeds up that healing process. Catnip, often overshadowed by its feline allure, possesses potential anti-inflammatory and healing properties beneficial for humans. These attributes can expedite the body's recovery process, especially for minor wounds or inflammations. Traditional practices often involve applying catnip-infused oils or poultices to affected areas. For those intrigued by natural remedies, considering catnip's integration into their wellness regimen can be a rejuvenating experience. but always consult with a healthcare professional before trying new treatments. Provides benefits for skincare. Catnip's benefits stretch beyond its internal healing properties to encompass skincare. Rich in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory agents, it aids in skin rejuvenation, combating signs of aging and redness. Integrating catnip into skincare routines can be as simple as adding a few drops of catnip-infused oil to a daily moisturizer or using catnip tea as a gentle toner. Embracing this herb can elevate one's skincare regime, harnessing nature's bounty for radiant skin. Catnip's myriad benefits extend far beyond feline delight. For humans, this humble herb emerges as a holistic ally, offering solutions from mental well-being to skin health. Embracing catnip in our routines can usher in natural remedies, illustrating nature's profound ability to nurture and heal. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey into the remarkable benefits of catnip. As we've discovered, this herbaceous plant isn't just for our furry friends. It offers a multitude of advantages for humans as well. If you found this information intriguing and believe that catnip could be a valuable addition to your wellness routine, don't forget to show your support by giving this video a thumbs up. And for more captivating insights into natural remedies and holistic well-being, please consider subscribing to our channel.
Well, there you go.
We lost.
Uh-oh.
Did we? Yeah. No, he was
Embrace
saying
the
that
cat.
with the summer weather and all the rest of it and so on, his boys need a little bit of daddy time there. So he said he may not be able to stay for the whole show, but very grateful for his time. And maybe we will. I wouldn't mind taking him up on that offer of. We did a little bit of a let's make something together show a while back, Dave, with the salve, and so maybe we could do something like that again. I did have a question regarding the turning the flowers or whatever into medicinal. Is it standard to like dry everything before you do something with it? Okay, maybe I'm being a little more specific when I think about. Well, we were just talking about catnip, but I was thinking also about mullein. Like when you make a tea or something like that, are you supposed to let it dry, the leaf dry first, or?
That's what I understand.
You are, yeah.
And I guess that would be more a standard thing, is whatever
that herb dryer you got would work great.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, whatever it is.
And Daryl is saying catnip brings bees and other pollinators, which is really awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And also Damien was saying that he makes a skin balm. It sounds like that's something you could add as well quite easily.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, it's very cool.
I'm glad that we've introduced this segment. I find it very interesting, and if you do find it interesting, give us a thumbs up. And if you don't, give us 2 thumbs up or 2 thumbs down. I don't care.
No, it is interesting. I'm learning a lot from those videos.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. They're awesome. There's always got some catnip growing. Right
on.
He's gonna need a field for that cat. He's got that thing needs some time.
He does.
Fazoli, go feed your cat.
They are fed very nicely.
Feed that thing. Shut that thing up.
And Josh, we were talking earlier when we were talking earlier about Mo and how he's helped you with your garden, but also you're doing a Thursday night show.
Yep.
And in the past, you've had some pretty good guests. Got anything lined up for tomorrow?
Yeah,
no pressure.
Tomorrow we got Dennis coming on with APSU.
Oh, that's right.
Cool.
That's right. Yeah.
Come on, and we're gonna scope it out and look at some stuff from my bed, and I pulled some samples from the bed and sent it to Mo, and take a look.
now that I'm reminded, you even you sent him some poop. You sent him some skink poop or
skink poop. Yeah, skink poop. I sent him a bunch of stuff. I sent him some old cannabis roots with the soil around it. You know, just pulled the little what was left of the root from the old root ball, and put that in. And then I got some stuff, some of that, some moss that was around growing. So we're gonna look at some moss.
Cool.
I had some skink poo, which should be fun and interesting to look at, because I've always wondered, like, you know, because I see it everywhere, like there's skink shit everywhere. So I mean, that's got to have an effect on, you know, the poo cycle going on in there. So I want to see what they're eating and what's going on in there. If there are any nematodes crawling around in their poo,
that'll be cool to see.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. That's tomorrow at 6 o'clock. We'll have Dennis on, and then after that, actually, Damien there's gonna come on. I didn't even know he was on tonight, to be honest with you. When I asked him to come on my show, like, I didn't know he was on tonight on this show. He's like, he'll be on the 3rd, I think. It's the 3rd.
Who are you talking about?
Damien.
Oh, Damien. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Oh, right on.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was coming on. I was like, I'd asked him to come on my show. And,
so for anyone wondering, the winners that were just chosen, you didn't actually win anything yet. You're going to be in a duck race to win something.
Yeah, or a race. Don't want to call it a duck race, but
yeah,
it's a
okay.
race.
What are we racing? What are we racing today?
You want to really know what it is? Here, I'll show you right now.
Yeah, let's see.
Well, I can't stand it.
I don't think we've ever done these ones before.
I don't know what is it? Oh, shit, ladybugs.
Oh, I love it.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
So yeah, to answer, who was it? Fresh the butter. You are entered into this race, and the winner of this race is going to win a pack of something from. Oh, let me put his name up during this real quick. Where'd it go?
It'll be Damien, or Let's Be Budz. One of the two.
As long as Fazoli don't win.
Let's see.
Oh, here we go. Oh, I love their little.
Oh, and they're flying. That's so cool.
They're so cute. Oh.
And the worst part is, like, at this time in the show, I'm really fucking high, and sometimes they really get to me. Come on, Double E, what are you doing? Way too far out front. Way too far out front. You know the drill.
Damien said his phone died. That's why he disappeared on us.
Oh shit!
No, darn.
Hopefully he's watching the end of the show, and we can say hi to people in chat or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Damien. Really appreciate your time, my friend. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, his garden was beautiful. Oh my god.
Oh, shit.
Well,
Amazing.
He has the prettiest outdoor garden.
I'm also super jealous that he can grow those fruits there, because I would love to grow them here.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He's got damn squash hanging from pine trees and shit.
That's wild.
Okay, who's making the move?
Who's
making the move?
Oh,
what's up,
Marcus? Coming back.
Oh, damn.
Double E.
You did it.
Congrats.
Okay. Well, there you go. So
Right.
proved us wrong. Okay, that okay, and I think I've got your contact information.
Last week's race was a little crazy. There was a few that were like getting in there.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. Okay, I've got your contact information. Congratulations. And we'll be sending you something from stateside. Okay, so yeah. So please don't ask me who our guest is next week.
Oh, good, because I don't know either.
Who's our
I
guest?
don't know either.
It's on the list somewhere.
No, I don't think we have one. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But
Well, that
we
makes me
will.
feel
We
better.
will. We're working.
You'll be
sure.
here no
Oh.
matter what.
Playing a paper.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Thank you. Tell me your shirt size while you're there, please, and then I'll just sneak it in here for
Extra
future
large.
reference.
Mine's an extra large. You need to send me one.
Okay, and Josh, I got to tell you that watching your daily lives, no, they're not lives when I see them, but
They're pretty close to live.
yeah, well, I'm usually about 7 o'clock my time, and I'm usually about the 49th or 55th viewer of the thing. But we were talking earlier about change and how one thing changes another, and I'm finding this quite an education. I got to tell you, it's really been a learning process, and I'm really enjoy. It's almost like a little bit of a science class, and it might be about biology, or it might be about what's that?
Yeah, you never
insect
know what
one.
you're gonna get in here. I'm the same way when I walk in there every morning, Rick. I tell you, I'll be honest with you, I don't know what I'm gonna see. I'm looking around. First thing I'm like, because I did see like a 3.5 foot black snake crawling, slithering right by the door. So now when I'm walking, and I know he can get in and out, and there's so many skinks in there now. That's what he's eating, you know.
Oh, yeah, he's chowing.
Oh.
So now when I walk in, I'm like,
Yeah, I'd be scared to enter.
you know what I mean? I'm like,
Don't leave a pair of shoes or anything in there.
I'm like, ooh. Make sure I don't put my hand over there too fast. You know?
Start setting up some sensors close to the ground, then you'll know.
Well, I'm gonna get I've been saying I'm gonna get cameras for a while now. I'm gonna get cameras. I promise. They're gonna be set up all around. It'll be like running probably most of the day. So you know, whenever the lights are on, you'll be able to see what's going on, and you'll be able to tune in and see. But yeah, I'll get there eventually, but just haven't got.
Ooh, that's.
We'll have live cam. I want to have a live digger cam, live pond cam.
That'd be cool.
Live, just a whole grow cam, so you'll be able to. It'll just flip back and forth, you know. Where you can see everything. You'll be able to see it grow. Like I mean, it changes. I mean, every hour I walk in there, it's like, damn.
Yeah.
I wasn't just there. Was that there just a minute ago? Was that pile of shit there just a second ago?
Where's that snake?
And the skinks, I have holes in the sides of the bed, you know, and the rocks, you know, they're not all, it's not all sealed in. There were air pockets, you know, around the place. Okay. But the skinks get in there and the soil will just be all over the floor.
Oh, crazy.
They're just running in and out. They got holes dug into the soil all around. They can get inside the rock crevices. And so, I mean, it's just, like, you wouldn't think I'd have to sweep every day, but like every day I walk in there, there's soil all over the floor. It's like having kids playing.
Wow.
Because it's, you know, they're constantly throwing things around and dirt flying, shitting on the rocks, you know. I mean, think about it. There's skinks just digging. They're literally throwing shit everywhere. You know, so there's stuff everywhere. It's just all over the floor, all over everything. So that's how it is. When you walk in here, it's like, damn, I just sweat, and I haven't even been in here, and yet there's things all over the floor. And for a while, I was like, well, how the hell is this happening? And then I was like, oh yeah, there's freaking lizards in here. All kinds of
wild.
Shit. Probably mice, you know, there's probably mice crawling around in there too.
So turtles just fucking shit up, man.
Especially in the wintertime. I know in the wintertime there are mice in there because it's cold outside, so they want to come inside.
Yeah.
So
you've never thought about running CO2 in there, but I am curious about what the CO2 levels would be in there.
I've gotten them up, you know, when I did I do an IMO. So IMO 3 or IMO 4 and get the temperature up in the IMO up to around 120, and that will produce quite a bit of CO2.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And in that 4 or 5 days, I've gotten up to like 1,300 in the room.
Oh,
But
wow.
It drops fast, so you'd have to constantly keep that, that heat going in that IMO. So you just have to keep adding food to the IMO, adding structure to the IMO, basically adding more wheat bran to it or whatever you're using to keep it hot, and it'll keep producing that CO2. And that's what I was doing in the first 2 or 3 grows I did in there. What I was doing.
Yeah,
I noticed the IMO was just getting, when I was doing that, the fungus gnats were just, when I was bringing that indoors, oh my Lord, it was just like a haven for them.
Yeah,
just on top layer of that IMO, man, they just love that moisture that was dripping off the top of the tote. You know what I mean? Like, so the moisture raises up, hits the top of the tote, the moisture drops back down on the condensation. And that was just like a breeding ground for
fungus gnats.
Fungus gnats.
Yeah, yeah.
Normally, what I was doing outside, I was trying to bring inside. And of course, when you bring outside in, you bring in everything. But there's nothing else there to eat the fungus gnat in the tote. So unlike in the bed, I don't have a fungus gnat problem. But in a tote where there's nothing else to eat the fungus gnat larva, they breed. It's a breeding ground.
Yeah,
I kind of stopped doing it. And I noticed it doesn't really seem like it affects the plants that much.
Yeah, I don't find fungus gnats really do much. They're just fucking annoying as hell.
Oh,
I've had one fly up my nose one time.
Yeah,
I was like, you little fuckers.
Yeah, no, I'm saying the CO2. Like when I'm in there a lot during the day, and I can keep it up just by me being in there around the 250, 300 mark. That's pretty good. It used to be around 420 to be like the outdoors is like 420, I think it is, the ambient CO2.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I'm usually around when I check it. If everything is running great, if it's all dialed in, the CO2 is at like 0 because the plants are just sucking it up.
Right.
But I'm in there, bring it up to about 150 to 200, and then I leave. About 2 hours later, it's gone. Sucked it all up.
Interesting.
So,
yeah, they are sucking it all up. You got a jungle in there, dude.
That's what I'm
2 of
saying.
them.
I leave the door open, and it's got plenty of air exchange, so they're getting it. They're just sucking it up. So it's not reading on the meter. If it's reading on the meter, then I know they're not using it. Then it's sucking it up. So, but
well, Rick, how's your Canadian Bud exchange coming along?
Oh yeah.
Well, I think a lot of talk, but not much action. Okay, there, I nutshelled it for you.
Not very many participants.
Well, I'm dragging my feet on. The onus is on me. I gotta get more aggressive on it, and I promise you, I will have a full report by next week.
You can put some of that onus on me as well if you want, and I can share that with you if you just give me some info.
Okay. Well, then let's talk about that.
Okay.
But looking at the clock on the wall, guys, boy, oh boy, what a great fun show. I want to remember for sure to thank Damien for sharing his beautiful garden. And as usual, guys, Josh, your garden, Miranda, your time, Dave, throwing this all together for us all. Chat, we love you. Anything else, guys?
Maybe shout out our sponsor.
Yes.
Lost Coast Pet Therapy.
Yeah.
Let me give him a little something.
There you go. And we will have a guest. There's a really, really good chance we'll have a guest next week.
Absolutely.
So with all of that, guys, we love you, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, I don't have an outro again because I'm a slacker, but we're gonna go out.
What are we gonna do?
So until we do this big Canadian Bud exchange, we'll just play this every week.
Perfect.
Hey there, friends of the great wide north, let me tell you why. We're bringing joy, laughter, and a little bit of high. Swap yours for mine or his for hers, let it slide. This is the moment, let's enjoy the ride. Feel the buzz in the air, can you feel the fun? Nothing beats the laughter when we're all just one.